Hi guys, Yolanda here, and we are going to make the basic cover for this journal. It's going to be a hardcover, so I'm starting it completely from scratch. I've used this chipboard which comes from an old calendar backing. It was quite a big piece, so of course I'm using it up. And now, my journal is 7.5 by 5 more or less. So I've cut it 7.5 by 5 1/8. I did want to cut it by 5 1/4, but it just didn't work out. So it's just over 5, and I always like to cut my journals a little bit wider than the actual journal itself. It's just a preference. So they are cut. My spine is 2 inches. Because we still got to do stuff on the cover. So all I'm going to do, and this is how I do my mini albums as well. So I leave more than 1/8 of an inch. I know a lot of crafters leave less, but I don't. I like to leave a little bit more. So yeah. So now I have this, it's e-tape as well, but this is proper book binding tape, which is very strong. So I'm just going to cut a piece off using this scissors, and it doesn't tear. Sometimes it tears. I was just being lazy there, you see that? Right, so more or less gives you more leeway, and I'm just going to stick my tape down, and this makes it very strong on the spine. I bought this at a scrapbook shop, which unfortunately, you know, because of COVID, closed down. Very sad. It was just a great shop. Oh dear. Yeah. Let's just cut that off. Let's simplify. And I'm just going to put one more there. And you know, this also holds it together for when you're putting your fabric cover on. One more piece. You just cut it. Very sticky, very, very sticky. And there. And now we have that together. I have already cut a piece of calico. I always put 2 layers minimum of fabric. I never just put on 1 layer. This is the fabric I'm going to use for the covers. It's gorgeous. It's given to me by a friend, by Beatrix. Thank you very much, Beatrix. It is so nice to have a friend that feeds our addiction. That is not cut yet. I just like the feel of 2 layers. It just feels softer and, I don't know, more malleable. So you can use anything. I've got so many leftover pieces. This was just the first one I got my hands on, because if you saw my storeroom, it's a huge mess in there. Because you know, it's things are what can I say, it's very difficult for me to bend over because of my back and, you know, the fusions that I've had. And so I'm just going to quickly glue this. Let's start. I like to start in the middle. So there we have our cover. So I don't know if you saw properly how I did these corners. Once it's, I just cut it, leaving a little bit extra on the edge here, and then you fold, and it gives you a better corner. This is actually my chipboard. So there we have your basic cover. Now, of course, let me just go and put these edges down, all of them, and probably maybe I'll cover them but with fabric. I don't know yet. I also only decorate my covers right at the very end, and everyone is different, so you must do whatever suits you, because I never know what my cover is going to look like until my journal is finished, and so I can carry elements of the journal, of what I've used in it, onto my cover. You see, that's why I do it last, the actual decorating. So I'm trying to decide whether to put cardstock down, but even that, I don't even have to do that right now. Okay, hang on, and I do like to glue it. Oh, my stick is running out. Let me just grab a couple of sticks of glue. Yeah, so just make sure everything is nice and flat, and you still get to decide a little bit later, but we do have to do our, that's a bit, do you know what, it's not going to be long enough unless I make it from the spine. Whew. Just trying to see, because now I'm going to stitch one journal together on camera. I do have a tutorial on how I do my, it's somewhere in there. I'll see if I can find it, and you know what, this might even be okay for here, because I don't want to have to cut up my fabric again. And I do think that looks quite nice. So I'm actually going to, and the reason why I'm tearing it in half, you'll see in a moment, because you know I'm trying to save. I think I'm going to do, because you see one is not enough, because it must come beyond the actual spine. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to do one here, and I'm going to put another one here, and I'm not going to sew it together, I'm just going to glue it down. So let's do that quickly. Maybe I should find the middle, then I will know where the middle is. So it's 2 inches, so the middle is 1 inch pencil. Wrong way. Let's just do sort of, then I can see where I'm going. And I'm finding the middle because I'm going to join these right in the middle, and maybe I will put a piece of lace down it as well. Okay, and then I know exactly where to glue it. So we have this gorgeous, I love polka dots. I don't know who else out there loves them, but sheesh, I do love them. So let's just glue that down before it dries. And let's carry on and get down there. And it already dried here, so let's put that down, and I think that's fine. So I'm going to carry on and finish this. And you see what I'm doing here? I am leaving because I don't know yet whether I'm going to put the paper underneath or on top of the fabric. So I'm not gluing right to the edge. Oh man, I'm really burning myself today, guys. Ay, ay, ay. And that way, oh, just, yeah, that's perfect. I always burn myself, by the way, more on camera than I do when I'm not on camera. You know, I think because I always try to rush a little bit to keep the videos as short as I can, which sometimes is not very short, but hey, there you have it. So once again, I'm going to do the same thing here. I am not going to glue it right to the edge because I don't know what I'm doing, but I've got the basics. Oh, there's fine, up to about there, just enough room. There, now we have a spine, and you'll see that sometimes it comes up the fabric. That's okay, or it crinkles like here. That's okay, and that's usually because I haven't glued that particular spot, but I'm fine with that. Okay, maybe I'm not so fine. You can always go back, especially when when you're using glue, and redo it. You see there's no glue there, so I'm going to put some glue down and down and down and here, and I'm going to just stretch the fabric. And do stretch the fabric when you're doing your cover so it's nice and smooth. And let's see, hopefully that's better. Can you see that now? There's no more crinkle in there anymore. So if you've got a crinkle, it's because you haven't put glue down in that particular spot, but it's okay. You don't have to. It's only if you want to be finicky. So there we have a very simple cover, and these two, well, now look at that, it's looking really gorgeous. Yeah, will get stitched into here. So what I'm going to do, again, there is another cover tutorial, but it's fine. You can never do too many because sometimes you'll end up doing them a bit different. So now I know that more or less is in the middle. I'm not going to be a stickler and be very, very precise. Okay. So now we can go again. What did I say? 2. So we're going to do 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch in from the spine to put in. And how many? I'm just going to do the 3 stitch pamphlet stitch on this. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to use my awl straight away, which is more or less, I don't know what that is, that's probably 3/4 of an inch in. So straight away I'm going to do this because I'm going to put one cover in now, one signature in now. The middle, what did I say, this was 7.5, is about 4, I can do it this way. Oh, we want the middle there, so let's do the middle here. I think I need to move it just a little bit there, and that's about right. That is a-okay. So let's do it here. And what did I say? That's a little bit too much. I'm going to do it about there. So I have a hole there, and I have a hole here. I'll make the other holes, off camera. And there we go. Is that in? I think I need to bring this in just a little bit more there. It's a little bit too close. Right, I've made the holes there as well. I have my crochet. We're only doing the 3 stitch here. I really do the 5 stitch unless it's a really long journal. So it's about 3 times. If you're doing the 5 stitch, it takes more. and I want to have some hanging out, so I'm just going to cut. I always cut a bit extra just to be on the safe side. I have my needle right here, which I shall thread quickly. This is not a tapestry needle, it's just a large embroidery needle, or a needle with a large eye on it. Now, to make it easier, I don't know how much stuff is in here. I take everything out. Okay, it makes it easier to, and then they always land up in different places. And this is the extra pages I've put in. And let's just take all this out, all this, even that. And that's about, let's take this out, and that's fine. So now we need to align. See, it just makes the whole thing easier. Let's go to the center page and align your pages, especially if you've got some. I want this one in the middle, so I'm just going to move it up. I'm not looking again for perfection. Right. Now I've got it. Let's keep checking that I'm not right in my spine there. Keep checking there, you see? Put your finger there. And sometimes I do have to readjust, which I do on this one because I'm rushing instead of taking my time. So take your time. I'm just going to carry on and fast forward this, and then I'll stitch as well. So, because I want to align it properly. Okay, I have to confess that wasn't a very good example of the pamphlet stitch, but I'm not redoing it because it's actually fine as it is, because I did go wrong there. I mean, you saw that I had to re-poke sometimes with this because the fabric does shift, so you might have to re-poke that hole. And then, far too much, 3 lengths would have been fine instead of the, oh man, come on. So now what I'm going to do, this is the top, I'm just going to tighten everything a little bit without pulling in force. Make sure everything is tight. So it's just a little bit off there, but that's fine. You're not going to see that, and even if you did see it, it's okay. And then I'm just going to bring it in. I will definitely list the proper pamphlet stitch, but like I said, I'm not going to redo it, so there's no rule that says you have to do proper pamphlet stitch. And I'm just tying a knot, and one more. Definitely 3 lengths is enough, because now this is going to be wasted. And that's fine. And let's cut it. I'm going to cut it down here. So that's numero uno in there. and it's looking great. Yeah, I like to go through and recheck my pages. Slightly off there. It's okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. And now I am going to do the next one here off camera, and you can see I've left quite once this one was in, you'll see I have left quite a gap here, which allows for the journal to puff out and up. And there we go, we have this showing. I'm liking it. So I will be back in a moment with this guy in the journal. Right, so here I have done the proper pamphlet stitch, and I'm just going to finish tying it up, pulling it gently so as not to tear pages. And again, I like to just go through it and check. I really fumbled with this one. I don't know why. It is what it is. There we go. So that is done. And then I'm just going to a gentle, again, not, I mean, seriously, people, we need to be careful with our journals. So, you know, don't do that. So I'm going to leave these hanging because they may or may not put beads or something on there. So there we have it. Look, not quite there, but it's okay. There, it's almost straight. But I'm fine with that because it is going to be covered. I don't know what yet, but it's looking quite spiffing, quite spiffing. So now, and sometimes also, especially because I fumbled so much on this one, I'm just thinking sometimes I will go back and put a distressed sticky tape, not sticky tape, masking tape here, to reinforce if I've done a bad job, because it happens, guys. So now I'm going to think of something to do on these covers, whether I'm going to put cardstock. I'm just liking the fabric. So what am I going to do here? I'll probably, you know what, I'm just going to make fabric pockets. I'm going to keep it simple. So I'm just thinking, I don't know how much time has passed on this, but I'll leave it for another video. Okay, so all my ephemera is out and all over the place, which still needs to be worked on. So there's still quite a lot to do in the journal. It's not finished by a long way, but my basics are done. So if I wanted to add pages and wada, I can still do that, you know. And can you see there's quite a big gap, which I like because it allows you know, for space, because we still got a lot of stuff to put in here. So guys, I will see you in another video. Ciao now, bye bye.